to share with y'all the phenomenons that we know as sympathy and empathy. Sympathy and empathy are very closely related. However, psychologically and emotionally, they are actually different, and not a lot of people actually know that. The main difference between sympathy and empathy is personal experience and the way that you actually feel it. Sympathy and empathy, they are very closely related, but sympathy involves feeling sorry or pity for someone without personal experience. Whereas empathy is more you're feeling pity and you're feeling sorry for them, but it's because you've actually been through it. So it's more personal experience coming behind it. Um, it involves sympathy involves understanding, but it doesn't involve the same level of understanding that empathy comes with. It's more of like a sympathy. So let's say you, just for example, you might see a homeless person on the street. You can sympathize with them, even though you may have never been homeless. You still feel sad for them. You still feel pity for them, and you still know that that's not a comfortable or a safe position. Whereas if you were to see a homeless person on the street and you actually have been homeless before, that's empathy. You understand the situation, you see the situation, but you have also been emerged into the situation. Sympathy is when you understand someone else's suffering and you feel it to your core because you've been there, you've experienced it, you've harvested these emotions. That is the main difference between sympathy and empathy. When you are feeling sympathy, you're harvesting emotions that have no experience. So you're sympathizing with them to a certain extent. It can only reach a certain level because you have not been there, you have not graced that on your own. That is not a journey that you have fulfilled. So you can only give them understanding to a certain extent. Sympathy is basically saying, this is my experience of reaction to you, even though I have not actually been through it. Empathy is my experience of reaction to you with experience that I have went through on my own. Any understanding of the person in distress. Empathy is the ability to actually not only in empathy are you understanding to the same capacity of sympathy, but it actually goes a lot deeper and it actually has a lot more emotion and a lot more personal experience behind it. In the other person's shoes, when you experience empathy from the person that is actually going through it, it's more of a welcoming feeling, knowing that the person has actually been through what they're sitting with. When you sit with somebody in pain and you know that they have actually been there and been there and done that, it brings a certain level of comfort. It's very comforting to have somebody sympathize with you, but it is 100 times better to have somebody empathize with you. And just to give a couple of examples, I can sympathize with someone that has lost their mom because I know how I would feel if I lost my mother. However, I have never lost my mother, so that is only sympathy. Now, if I was to approach someone that has lost their father, that would be different because I have lost my father. So then I would be harvesting empathy. Because I haven't lost my mom, I can only understand to a certain degree. I know what I think it would feel like to lose my mom. I know that it's detrimental. I know that it's not something I ever want to experience. But at the end of the day, I have never actually been there or been in that situation. When it comes to losing a father, I've been there. I've dealt with that. I have lost a father. So it would be more, my feelings towards the situation would be a lot more personal and a lot more experience based. That is the difference in experiencing sympathy and experiencing empathy. When you experience sympathy, you're not coming with any personal experience. You're just coming with it's more of like common sense. You're gracefully sympathizing with them because you understand that the situation brings pain. You just understand it from a psychological point of view that just doesn't come from personal experience. You never experienced that trauma. So you can't say that you know what they're going through 100%, but you understand that what they're going through is detrimental and it's not something that any human would want to go through. An empathetic response to somebody might be, not only do I feel sorry for you, but I know how it feels. So I feel sorry for you, but I also feel sorry for you. It's a difference. It comes with a higher degree of pain. It comes with a higher degree of psychological understanding. I do hope that in this process of this speech and of me talking, that you have understand the difference between sympathy and empathy. There's been a common misconception on the two words for a very, very long time. And I also learned a lot while doing research on these two things, because I truly did not understand the true, actual difference between the two.